You want to know what makes me feel old? It's the 20th anniversary of the original Xbox. I actually remember buying this from GameStop, 40 bucks for the bundle. It was just as the Xbox 360 was launched and they were cleaning house on the older last gen consoles, which were this at the time. And also 20 years ago, it was normal to have a corded controller. But what if there was a way to use the 360 wireless controller somewhat natively with the original Xbox? And there is. Thanks to another YouTuber named MattKC, he brought to my attention this adapter. This is developed by a guy named Ryan Wenland, who is based out of Australia, and that's going to be an important fact for later. But anyways, this allows you to use the Microsoft wireless receiver, which this is something you would normally use for Windows PC, so you could use a 360 controller. But this adapter allows you to connect up to this, and with the help of an Arduino and a USB cable from here to there, you can now use your 360 controller on an Xbox, and it works great. To get to this point, I had the help of a group of people. And also, this is a sponsored video. Next PCB provided me with the bare boards to make this happen. And the experience with Next PCB was great. I mean, I sent them the Gerbers. Let's see here. I sent the Gerbers on the 4th. By the 7th, they were already done being built. On the 9th, they were shipped. And on the 12th, I received them. So that went perfect. But I did run into some problems with the components. So, like I mentioned earlier, Ryan is based out of Australia, and his bill of materials are all parts that are available at DigiKey that are normally stocked in Australia. Here in America, we might not necessarily have that exact same part number stocked here as they would there. So I had to go through each item on the bill of materials and find the equivalent USA stocked counterpart to their Australian stocked counterpart. So that was one small issue which I got through. The second issue was he has 2 revisions now of this board. And this is the first revision, which means it has a power LED, a fuse, and much smaller resistors and capacitors, and a couple other small little changes. But anyways, he redesigned it to make it easier to build because people were kind of having trouble with the assembly side of it. So he made it simpler and made the parts bigger. So he got rid of the power LED and the fuse and stuff like that. Anyways, I didn't know this at the time, but I sent the Gerbers for the old revision, but ordered the parts for the new revision. So I had to do the parts ordering twice, which that was my own fault. Anyways, that worked out. But let's go ahead and I'll start the assembly process so you can kind of get an idea of what it takes to build one of these if you wanted to do it yourself. And also thanks to Ryan, this is completely open source. Everything is available to anybody. So if you want, you could build one of these too. I'm going to get a nice layer of flux down. And then I'm going to start with the crystal, because the crystal is the only component that requires hot air. Everything else can be hand soldered. And I believe this has changed in the second revision. He uses a through-hole crystal to make it easier to assemble. Next, I'm going to put down the USB host controller chip. And I believe the way this works is the Arduino is just used to program this chip, and then after that it's simply just a USB pass-through, and I believe this helps keep the lag low because all the processing is just done on this USB host controller chip. Next is the buffer chip. and the 1K resistors. Now is the 16 picofarad capacitors. And as you can see, the package size on these caps is a little too large because these are the ones I accidentally ordered for the second revision, not for the first revision. So the capacitors kind of overextend on the pads just a little bit, but I can get it to work. As long as you order the right parts with the right revision, you won't have that problem. And these are the 33 ohm resistors. These just come up off of the USB port. And I ain't gonna lie, these are pretty small and do put up a bit of a challenge to get squared up in center. These are just the 0.1 microfarad caps. Here's a 3.3 volt voltage regulator. And now for the fuse. And the power LED. The Arduino diodes. Again, quite small, do put up a bit of a challenge. And now the reset button. Ten microfarad capacitor. And USB port. Now it's time for a wash. This is just rubbing alcohol. Now that the board is assembled and washed, I'm going to go ahead and install the Arduino. So as you can see, there's 3 more slots. That's because the Microsoft wireless receiver can support 4 controllers, the Xbox can support 4 controllers, and this isn't going to support 4 until I install the 3 other, but at least for now, I can use it as a 1-player, and that will at least allow me to test it and make sure it works. The programming instructions will be in the GitHub link down in the description. To sync the controllers, you just do it like you normally would with the Microsoft wireless receiver. You just use the sync buttons on the controller and the receiver at the same time. This controller is already going to be synced up to number 1. I would like to eventually build this board right into the console itself to get rid of some of the clutter. And MattKC on his original video did test the input lag. There's virtually none, but you can judge for yourself. I'll leave a link to his video down below. And now for the giveaway details. I will randomly select one person 24 hours after the posting of this video. So if you want it, let me know it down in the comments. Make sure your YouTube notifications are on and working, because you have 1 day to respond after I respond to your comment. So if you want one of these, let me know below. I'd like to see the winner use and enjoy it rather than just flip it on eBay, because these do go for like 80 bucks usually. Must be from the lower 48 states only. I'm sorry to everyone else, but I'm not shipping to, you know, some far off distance land. The USB cable and the Microsoft wireless receiver are sold separately. You got to get those on your own. These units are assembled and tested, but single player only. You'll need to add and program your own Arduinos if you want it to support more than 1 controller. If you miss out on the giveaway, I'll be selling off the extras. And again, down in the description, I'll have my email address, so you can contact me if you want to purchase one. So, thanks to Ryan Winland, who goes by Risey119, for designing and making this open source. Thanks to MattKC for making his video that showed me this thing exists. When I saw his video, I told myself I gotta have one of these things. And I'm glad I did. Also, thanks to James at NextPCB for providing the printed circuit boards. And I'm sorry it took 4 months for me to complete this. And thanks to my buddy Mike, who helped me program the Arduino, because, oh dang it, now the cat's on the sync cable. Sync button. Ah, get away, kitty. Oh, what was I saying? Yeah, thanks to Mike for helping me program the Arduinos, because my pea-brain could not figure it out. Whoa, she's a little floaty. Oh no. I've been playing Wreckfest on Game Pass, which is the younger child version of this game, but I'm not used to these controls. These definitely feel really floaty compared to Wreckfest. Whoa. Man, I suck. How do I respawn? Okay, I know one of these buttons like flip me over. There we go. Oh. Whoa. Well, I will say the 360 controller feels natural on this console. Oop. All right, I'm gonna call this one short only because my cats are up to no good. Oh, what are you guys doing? Chewing on my cables again. All right, well, I think I'm gonna wrap up this video. I think I covered everything I wanted to cover. So thanks guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.